Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Tide Turning Veteran, the INT Krillin unit, and basically how he does in DBZ Dokkan at 100% hidden potential system. He is a free-to-play unit. You'll basically get a copy of him by completing the Greatest Warrior missions, and giving him a rainbow giving him 100% is part of those missions. So at the end of the day, he'll be the first rainbow INT character you probably get in the game. On top of that as well, he is really quite easy in terms of utilization, and I think he is quite a solid unit that can be very, very, very good in multiple teams, but obviously generally Saiyan Saga is where you're going to see him thrive. So 70% in lead, that's neither here nor there, not that important. He greatly raises attack and defense one turn, causing supreme damage and greatly lowering the attack and defense of the opposition with a high chance of stunning. C fighters, solid support, courage, cold judgment, total school brainiacs, and solid support are his link skills. And in terms of hidden potential system or build, I went with majority evasion, and you'll see why when we talk about his passive. He has an attack and defense of 150%, a 50% or high chance of evading attacks, and an additional attack and defense of 150% when performing a super. He gives Saiyan Saga category allies Ki +1 and attack and defense of 30%, and gets an additional Ki +2, attack and defense of 50%, and evasion chance of 20% when the target enemy is in attack down or defense down. Or allies get Ki +1, attack and defense of 30%, and a chance of performing a critical hit plus 10% when there's an ally whose name includes Gohan on the team. So let's kind of break it down a little bit. Obviously, defensively, evasion's why we went in the INT, because he's mainly a support type unit, and with 50% already, building him with 20% additional evasion means that he's getting roughly, give or take, a 67% or so effective evasion rate, which is not bad. Couple that with the fact that in situations where he has defense down and attack down, which will be a lot of the early and mid game, he can be basically a pseudo evasion unit with roughly nigh on around 77 or 76% effective evasion, which is realistically really quite good. In terms of his support capabilities, he's a Saiyan Saga support first and foremost, but the requirement to have a Gohan kid on his teams is not too hard, and so making him a 60% Saiyan Saga support is pretty cool, and makes him out to look really solid. I think overall where he thrives is obviously in floating or in being in the second slot. Ideally you probably want to just float him in your free-to-play team, so that what that means is running him in the third slot and just having him pop up every now and then to provide support, lower the enemy's attack and defense, and have a high chance of stunning. If you run him alongside the Gohan and Piccolo like I am, you can have him really augment them with his constant 60% support, and they provide a really nice first slot barrier for him to function. He's quite limited in terms of support, so you could use him in other categories that he's on, but you wouldn't really get much out of him. Maybe Earthbred Fighters or Earthlings or Bond of Friendship, but really there's no reason to push for him to be used in other teams. Saiyan Saga is where he thrives, and he'll be pretty good in it. Obviously for hard content, a lot of hard content disables attack down and defense down, but generally speaking he still performs at a pretty high level. If you give him evasion, he can still be reliable, even in that content that does disable that, although obviously in situations where he can activate attack down and defense down, he is going to look far better. But yeah, that pretty much sums up Krillin. Overall, a very good, very solid, interesting support unit that I think has the ability to provide a great number of utility to the rest of his team. I think he does a good job giving a nice basis for some of the other units to work off of. 60% support is not something to be frowned upon. It is a good level even for a free-to-play unit. So like even top tier premier units do not have 60% supports. Like, I mean, they are, but those are premier units. So for them to give a 60% unit and give a support like that is realistically really quite solid. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, is quite impressive for a free-to-play unit, and he meshes quite well with the Piccolo, and I think that ultimately with the Piccolo Gohan, because obviously the Gohan kid factor, and I think that makes it pretty good overall. All in all, in terms of links, you probably want to focus on Courage, Solid Support, Z Fighters, and Sharing the Limit, as those are his really good free-to-play links that he shares with the rest of that fully built Saiyan Saga team. But you can focus a bit on Core Judgment if you are able to proc it, as it would be able to give him quite a sizable defensive boost that I think ultimately is well worth it to consider if you are building the team. Fortunately, he shares Core Judgment with units like Gohan and Piccolo, the strength summonable version, so you can expect for him to have a decent level of accessibility to Core Judgment, which improves his defense quite substantially. Aside from that, that is pretty much everything you need to know. So if you have any other questions or queries, let me know in the comments down below. But basically, that's Krillin. Overall, a really fun, interesting unit. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Have you used him? Are you a new player using him? How do you feel about him? And that is, I guess, pretty much everything from myself. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.